Double Mando Disc Golf.
Hello, my name is Webster, and my PDJ number is 128028, and this is going to be my in the bag for the end of the 2020 season. First up, for my two putting putters, I putt with two Lunas. This one is a first run one, and this one's just a normal run one. I just recently switched to these from Wizards. I really like the no bead on there, and the special blend plastic feels really good in my hand. I don't think I have any, And next up, for my two throwing putters, I have a Z Tour Series Luna. This one, I'll just put out on about that much hyzer, and it'll flip up and just ride the turn and goes really far. And then my other throwing putter is a C-Line P3X. This one I'll just throw flat and it'll finish with reliable fade. Next up, for my three mids, I have this Tour Series Meteor. This one is my flippy mid, so I'll throw it on about this much hyzer and it'll flip up and always turn. I have a Star Rat with the end of a star stamp on it. This one I'll just rip out flat and it'll just go dead straight. It's one of my favorite discs in my bag. And then I've got a Neutron Vector. This one, most of the time I can rip out flat and it'll just go, but sometimes it tends to turn and burn. And next up, for my fairways, I have this Fusion Misprint Convict. I just got this for Christmas from Connor McKenna. I can rip it out on about that much hyzer and it'll flip up and turn, and then it always fades at the end. And then I've got this Drew Gibson Tour Series Vengeance. This one will kind of fly like a Firebird. It'll go a little bit farther. It has a little bit less fade. But I can rip it out in any wind and it'll always fade at the end. And next up, I have this Lift, which I got from a good friend, John Dorn, at Ledgestone this year. I can rip it out on about this much hyzer and it'll just go straight up to flat and it goes so far. And then I've got this Star T-Bird 3. It's one of the older discs in my bag. It's just a flat thrower and it'll just stay completely straight its whole flight. And then I have this Nate Sexton Firebird. I don't throw it very much. It's more like a utility disc, but it's got a lot of fade and not much else to it. Now the biggest chunk of my bag, my distance drivers. I bag a lot of drivers. This one is a Ballista Pro. It doesn't seem to fly like a Ballista Pro. I just throw it flat, about a max distance shot, and it'll just stay flat with some turn. Then I have a Zeus. I'll throw this on a little bit of hyzer and it'll flip up and just go so far on turn. And then I've got this Destroyer. It's got a lot of pop to it. Next up, I have my two roller discs. The first one is this ESP crank. I'll lay it down on about this much ante. It'll just go straight down onto the ground and rolls really far. And then my other one is this Opto Havoc. This is also pretty flippy, but not quite as much. I'll put it on a little bit more ante and it'll go down to a roller. And then the disc that I've had in my bag for the longest amount of time is this Saki Bomb Destroyer. Now I'll throw it on about this much hyzer. It'll come straight up to flat and turn. And then I have this ESP Flex Nuke. It's one of the beefier discs in my bag. I'll throw it on about this much ante to get it to flex out. I'll use this on shots where I need it to go like 320 325, 350. Finished with a lot of fade at the end. And this one's my Big Z crank. It's one of my farthest flyers in my bag. Put on about this much aiming. It'll flip up to flat and it'll just go for about 450. And then I've got my Opto Havoc. I just got this last week from my friend Daniel. I haven't thrown it that much, but the experience I've had with it, I'll throw it on about this much hyzer. It'll flip up to flat and it'll just ride the turn for its whole flight. And then the last disc in my bag is this Kayla Visca D1 Max. I really like this disc. I'll throw it on about this much hyzer. It'll come up to flat and turn, and it'll turn for most of its flight, and it'll always finish with fade. And for my bag, I have the Grit BX bag that I just got this year from Webster. I guess I'll start with my minis. In my 3 minis, I've got my PDGA membership mini, I've got the Indiana State Championship mini, and I've got an XL crank mini signed by Michael Johansson at Worlds. This is what I always mark my shots with. And then up here, I've got also the State Championship towel. And in this cup holder pocket, I've got my umbrella. And on the side here, I've got my leagues tag and my 2 state championship tags. And then I've got my Innova towel in there too. And then in this cup holder, I've got my DGP2 water bottle that I got from Webster. It's got my league logo stamp on it and an Innova sticker on there. And in this pocket over here, I've got my reusable scorecard that I use a lot. And I've got an extra hot hand thing in there now that the weather's getting cold. And then in this side pocket, I've got my phone, my wallet, I've got my AirPod case because I like to listen to music a lot on the course. And then I've got a Discraft grip sack, and I've got an Innova grip sack as well. Then I've also got a charger cord. My wireless charger's charging right now, but I always bring that on the course in case my phone dies. And in the other pocket, I call it my snack pocket. I've got, right now, a big pack of Goldfish and this Starburst gum. And yeah, that concludes it for my 2020 end of the season in the bag check. And thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day.